This is a review of the Poweradd 7-watt foldable solar panel. It's a portable solar charger for your iPhone, iPad, iPod, and Samsung Galaxy series phones and tablets. It's also good for other Android devices. Inside the box, you'll find the folded solar panel itself and an instruction manual. The first thing you'll notice here is some tie loops. These are actually quite handy. You can tie a piece of lanyard rope on it or a paracord, hang it onto your backpack, hang it onto the side of your tent. You can open it up and hang it like this from two of these, for example. You can hang it on a clothesline, hang it on a tree, make sure it's in the sun. It's a nice way of hanging it up and, like I said, tie it on the back of your backpack so you can charge your phone while you're walking. You'll see these little pieces of plastic here. It comes with a plastic film over both the solar panels so they won't get scratched. They're highly susceptible to be damaged if they're scratched. Just make sure you take that film off to get the optimum charging conditions. This solar panel is rated at 7 watts. That means it has a maximum output of 5 volts DC and 1,272 milliampere hours. That's about the equivalent of charging it with an AC wall charger that comes with an iPhone, for example. There is only one charging port, and it's located in this compartment here on the end. And if I open this up and pull it out, you can see it. This is a USB charging port, and it's compatible with any USB cable that you have that will accept a 5-volt output at 1.272 milliamps output. The panel is made of a waterproof material, which makes it water resistant. But it's strongly recommended that you don't leave the solar panel outside lying in the outdoors when it's raining. Overall, this device is very lightweight. As you can imagine, it only weighs 12 1/4 ounces, and it folds up for easy storage and packing in a backpack, for example. The sun never comes straight down out of the sky. It's always at an angle. What I found is to place something underneath of it, whether it's a small box or a rock or something, and have it be at the angle, to have the sun come in at 90 degrees and strike the solar panel. I've always got the best charging results that way. This is the first sunny day we've had in 3 months, so I thought we'd get out and try this review. Here's the solar panel. It's opened up. I want to point out that these solar panels are covered with a clear plastic film that's on top of them. Make sure you remove that before you do any testing or use this, because the efficiency of the solar panel will be greatly reduced if that film is left on. I want to point out that right now the solar panel is outputting 0.41 amps in a pretty bright sunlight. If you were to stand here and watch this as clouds go by and the sun intensity changes, it will go up and down. Now you can see it's at 0.54, 0.58, 6. And when I started talking, it was at 0.19, so it changes rapidly. That's just something about solar panels you have to be aware of. Leave this here and let it charge for a few hours and see what happens. We've got it on a timer. The iPad's at 4%. We'll see what happens to it. You can see just now when I'm talking, it's dropped down to 0.32. I want to point out that one of the things that you should be very careful of is leaving your smart device in the sun. You can damage them very quickly. This is a cool day outside. It's about 55 to 60 degrees. We're going to cover it up with a white towel. In the summertime, I always put on top of the device a white towel or a cardboard box to provide some insulation away from the heat of the sun. If you don't do that, these devices can reach temperatures of 150 degrees or hotter and damage not only the batteries inside of them, but also damage the liquid crystal displays. It's critical that you do this. I just want to show what kind of day it is. You can see that the sky is blue and with a lot of clouds. But I want to point out that this is typical of where we live. We're not going to get a perfect day except in the nicest days of the summer. But I wanted you to see what kind of test conditions we're under. As we're in the springtime here in Indiana, we're not getting full days of sun. So I did tests on 2 different days that were relatively sunny. In the testing, we charged an iPad 2, and we started at 3%, and in 1 hour it jumped to 13. That's an excellent result. And that's about what you would expect if you plugged it into a 1 amp source, which makes sense because that's about the rating of the solar panel. But you can see in the second hour it dropped off to a 5% change. The next one was a 4%, and the next one was 3%. The device never stopped charging, so the solar panel kept reactivating the charging circuit of the iPad, which is commendable. But the rate slowed down, and that's typical of solar panels because of clouds passing between the sun and the solar panel. And a second test on a different day, and we started at 3% again, and in 60 minutes we're at 13%, same result. But the next hour we got another 11%, and in the third hour we got another 7%. So the clouds were not quite as bad, and that's the difference. I just wanted to point that out because your charging rates will vary depending on the ambient conditions. To make sure that the solar panel is laying directly in the sun to get the best charging. I want to make a note that you have to be careful with your equipment when you're outside. You absolutely do not want to lay a smartphone, an iPad, or any kind of tablet laid in the sun. The sun on a black surface, for example, this can reach 160 degrees or more. It's hot enough that when you touch it, you'll feel pain. It's hard on your batteries inside of your devices. It's hard on liquid crystal displays because the liquid crystal inside of it expands. You can actually crack a screen. So whenever you have equipment outside, always take a white towel, a cardboard box or something and cover it up and make sure that it's protected from the direct sunlight. If you don't do this, you may permanently damage your equipment. Well, this is not the most powerful solar panel I've tested. It does come at a good price, and 7 watts is nothing to laugh at. It worked perfectly well, and it will charge your devices. Like I said, if it can charge an iPad too, it can charge a phone quite easily. I rate this product because of its price and the way it worked at 5 stars. This review was done by jjceo. I'd like to tell you that I received a sample for test and evaluation, and I didn't promise a review, but if I gave one, it would be fair and honest.